Hey y'all, what's up? It's your boy Evan. Welcome to the Cartoon Block. Today I'm going to show you my process for sketching Iron Fist. Let's get started. So starting out, I always like to begin with the head. And I like to go ahead and start drawing a oval egg shape, put the center line down the middle, and just continue just fleshing it out, always using the side of my pencil. And I want to go ahead and have him like in this loud, action fighting stance. So we're going to show his like left shoulder closer to us, his right shoulder in the back. I want to start putting in some basic shapes for his arm, his fist, and I'm kind of just thinking about the pose as I'm going along. Nothing is concrete, and I can change and just keep scribbling lines until I see what I like. And then I like to go ahead and flesh out the left hand and kind of just think of it as like a mitten at first, like you wear it out in the snow, and then add the thumb and then the pinky part of it going next. And you always want to have some reference when you do your poses for your hands. Like I'm kind of looking at a picture of my own hand as I'm doing this. I kind of took like a selfie picture of my own hand in this pose. If it's difficult to take a selfie photograph, you can do it by looking in the mirror. So get the pose that you need. Now for his face, you can go ahead and basically draw these like little slanted triangles. Iron Fist looks like Batman and Spawn. So a lot of these characters who wear these simple masks and just have the whites of their eyes showing, you can simply just draw a little a slanted triangle for it. And then the front of his mask is very similar to Batman's. This could be Batman, you know. So, and I just kind of like just sketch it out and darken in the things that I like. If I don't like it, I tend to go back and just erase it. And there are no rules with this. There are no rules at all. You just want to really use the side of your pencil to lightly sketch everything out. And then the parts that you really are sure about, you go in and use the point of your pencil to go ahead and just draw them darker or more refined. Now for his fist, once again, I just use my own hand as reference. And I kind of like just draw it like a blockish shape and then go in and put the finger separation in there and then have them going backwards. And it's just a cool way to, get some reference on there. And I also use my toys here, and it can really be beneficial when you have your toys as far as like the arm detail and things like that. So I really do like having my 7-inch figures around. And if you need help drawing, hands and things of this nature, click the link below and I can show you how to draw proper hands, and you can join my academy. Just go ahead, click the link down below and check it out for yourself. I've helped hundreds of people already draw better action poses and different parts of the body, more specifically hands. Hands are difficult for everyone. They're even hard for me sometimes, but the more you do them, and if you know certain principles about the hand, you want to go ahead and click the link below. I can show you how to understand those basic principles of hands so you can draw more convincing and better looking hands overall. And as you can see now, we can move on to the back of his neck and kind of flesh that out some more. Iron Fist doesn't have a thick neck like Batman does. He's more of a thinner, more leaner character like Daredevil. And then I want to go ahead and start sketching in little twist ties that tie his hood or his mask. Is it a mask or a hood that he wears? What do you call it? I guess it's a mask, And then start putting in more of the muscles around his mouth, and now looking at his hands some more. Let's go ahead and start darkening in a few more of those lines and kind of just go all over the drawing. When I sketch, I normally just go all over the drawing. Once the basic foundation is down, I just go all over it and just start drawing whatever I feel that needs to be tweaked and adjusted. And as you can see here, I'm putting the power energy around his fist, and I thought I wanted to use the Kirby crackle dots, but I want to use more of like a flame effect. And just look at some reference of other, how other comic book artists draw the flame effects for him, or maybe like Ghost Rider's flaming head, or Johnny Storm, Human Torch from Fantastic Four, and just see how they draw it, and to get some ideas. And you can do a mixture of it, or you can choose your own style. There are no hard set rules. Different artists draw it different ways, so you can go ahead and just not feel like you're married to a particular style or anything like that. So just going on, I want to go ahead and darken in the areas around his eyes. He has like, blacker, darker eyes, or outline of his eyes going around his mask and around the eye part. And now I want to look at the Flash figure again, and I want to see where the shadow falls on his face. So looking at a character like Flash, who has the hood that covers his forehead and the side of his head, this is where toys come in handy. I like to use my toys to hold them up to the light to see where the shadow falls on them. This is good for characters like Batman, Flash, Captain America, because you want to be, kind of sure of where the light falls on their face, and you don't want to just make it up. So the next best thing is to use your toys. Or you can go ahead and put a mask on and go stand in the mirror and see how the light hits your head. But toys are really the great way of seeing how light hits the figure, where the shadows fall, and you can just apply it to your own character and your own drawings. There are no, like I said, there are no hard, fast, set rules. You can go ahead and just use your toys as reference, meaning you can start putting the shadows based on where they hit your toys, and then just make up the rest. There's no one who's going to be like, looking at your artwork saying, I think that shadow's in the wrong place. People are more engrossed in the overall design of the figure and of the overall piece. Just general fans of art, all of us are fans of art. And then those of us who are artists, no one really will pick apart your drawing like that. Art is more of, about capturing the feeling that you want to convey to the viewer. And as you can see, we got shadows in a lot of good places so far. The cast shadow, on his neck, which his head, casts a shadow on his neck. And we can go ahead and start fleshing in probably a little bit more details and stuff on his body. But let's move down to his pec muscles and put some more shadows down there. And I kind of just step back and see where all the shadows lie, where they might need to go. It's not like a clear-cut decision. Now we're going to go ahead and tackle the dragon on his chest. The thing about these, logos that go on your character's chest, you want to make sure that you draw the logo in the proper perspective in relationship to how the character is facing the camera and the angle. So you notice that his right chest, his right pec muscle on his chest is further away from us. So you want to kind of keep that in mind when you're drawing the dragon or the logo. And just make sure you draw that part of it slightly smaller than the left side of the chest, which is closer to us. The same goes for like Batman's insignia on his chest, and also for Superman. A lot of beginning artists tend to draw Superman's logo equally on both sides, but when the character is standing at an angle, you want to be sure that you map it out correctly and draw it wrapping around the chest, like the dragon I'm showing here. Notice you don't see the tip of the dragon's other wing, because it's wrapped around, away from us. It's going behind, away from our view. Kind of like you would draw a globe when you're drawing the continents on a globe. So keep that in mind. I kind of forgot his collar, so I'm going to go ahead and draw his tall collar here. I hate that I forgot it. But if you're drawing a new school type of Iron Fist, you won't. You probably wouldn't have the collar. So I'm going to go ahead and put this collar down here and draw it as like wrapping around his neck or his trapezius muscle. and then kind of put the base in here, and let me make sure I get the erase his body, that's behind there. And it's not quite working out, so sometimes you do make mistakes, but because the dragon is supposed to be tattooed on his chest, so, and I kind of have the collar, if he's wearing a shirt, it's supposed to be overlapping the dragon, but hey, it's art. We're gonna go ahead and fake it. That's what you call faking it at this point. So let me go ahead and get the actual, I guess, dimensions of his collar more accurate. Just basically make it more believable. So we're going to make his collar taller, and this part on the left side will be overlapping his jawbone a little bit. And this is what sketching is. You're going to sketch, you're going to find problems and mistakes and errors, and you go back and correct them. And I'm going to go ahead and make his tails, his ties, a little bit more dynamic and have it flowing. And this is what art is. It's not a clear science. It's more about capturing a feeling. Okay, so I think our pencils are just about done here. Now let's go ahead and grab some whiteout. I like my whiteout correction pen. It's really an office supply tool when you just want to correct some of your inking, but well, when you do an ink pen. But I'm going to be using it here to make the white part of his energy fist even more white, make it whiter. So just kind of dabbing it on here because my paper is kind of like an ivory off-white color. And then I'm going to be using it to put in these quick white streaks, kind of like he's in the rain. And then we're going to just darken in the background. So with the darkened background, and the shadow, dark shadows on his face, then with the white marks on top, it'll make the white marks pop off the page even more. So as you can see it, you can see them a little bit better, and it's pretty cool. You want to use a combination of a dark background with the white on top. Now switching over to my smaller white gel correction pen, it's a little bit more precise, so I'm using it just to put in the whites of his eyes a little bit better and just make them pop, make them pure white. So when we look at artwork, we're drawn to the, eyes. And that's Iron Fist. What do you think? Can you draw this? And if you're still having a hard time coming up with your own superhero body, then click the link below in the description and get my free superhero mini course. Get started right now. Don't wait.